What if I told you that when a man is truly falling in love, his words are not always the first thing that changes. His behavior changes first. His priorities shift. His attention becomes different. The way he looks at you becomes different. And sometimes, before he ever says, I love you, he starts showing you in ways he cannot hide. A man can say anything when he wants to impress you. He can send a perfect text, make big promises, and tell you exactly what you want to hear. Deep love starts showing up in his actions. It starts revealing itself through consistency, effort, protection, attention, and the way he begins making space for you in his life. So if you have been wondering, does he really have feelings for me? Or am I just imagining it? Stop listening only to what he says and start watching what he does. Because when a man is falling deeply in love, something inside him begins to change. He starts caring about the little things. He remembers things you thought he forgot. He remembers the story you told him weeks ago. He remembers what makes you uncomfortable. He remembers your favorite things. He notices when your energy changes, even when you say, I'm fine. Why? Because when a man becomes emotionally invested, you stop being just another person in his life. You become someone he pays attention to. And attention is powerful. A man does not consistently study what he does not value. When he starts falling deeply in love, he wants to understand you. He wants to know what makes you smile, what makes you nervous, what hurts you, what motivates you, and what makes you feel safe. He may not always know how to express those feelings perfectly, but his curiosity about you becomes obvious. He starts asking questions, not just, how was your day? He wants to know what happened. He wants to know what you are thinking. He wants to know what you are planning. He wants to know what you want from life. That is because love makes a man interested in your world. And here's something you need to understand. Real love is not just about wanting your attention. It is about wanting to understand your heart. A man who is only attracted to you may want your beauty. A man who is deeply falling for you starts becoming interested in your mind, your dreams, your fears, your values, and your future. He begins seeing you as a whole person. Another thing happens. He becomes consistent. Now, consistency does not mean he will text you every second of every day. It does not mean he will never have a busy day. It does not mean he will be perfect. It means you no longer have to constantly wonder where you stand. His effort becomes predictable. He checks in. He follows through. If he says he is going to call, he calls. If he makes a plan, he tries to keep it. If something changes, he communicates. You are not constantly sitting there wondering whether he cares. Because when a man is genuinely falling for you, he understands that confusion destroys trust. He does not want you constantly questioning his intentions. He starts realizing that your peace matters. And that is one of the biggest signs of emotional investment. He begins protecting the connection, not controlling you, not telling you what to wear, not deciding who you can talk to. Protection is different. Protection means he does not intentionally create unnecessary insecurity. He does not play games just to see whether you will chase him. He does not disappear for days because he enjoys watching you worry. He does not deliberately make you jealous because he wants power over you. Instead, he starts thinking about how his actions affect you. That is maturity. And when love becomes deep, a man starts considering the emotional consequences of his behavior. He may even become more vulnerable. This is something many women miss. A man who is deeply fallen in love may start telling you things he normally keeps hidden, his fears, his failures, his regrets, his childhood experiences, his insecurities, the things he does not tell everybody. And when he does that, understand what is happening. He is opening a door. A man does not always become vulnerable because he has everything figured out. Sometimes he becomes vulnerable because he trusts you enough to let you see the parts of him that he normally protects. That is a major shift because love is not just about being seen at your best. Love is about eventually feeling safe enough to be seen when you are not at your best. And when a man begins trusting you with that side of himself, he is showing you something deeper than attraction. He is showing you emotional investment. You may also notice that he starts including you in his future conversations. He starts saying things like, we should go there someday. Next year he starts thinking beyond today. Now, one sentence does not prove love, but a pattern does. When a man repeatedly talks about future experiences with you, he may be mentally creating a place for you in his life. And that is important because people naturally plan around what they expect to remain important. If you are temporary in his mind, everything stays temporary. But when he begins seeing you as someone who could remain, his language starts changing. He starts making room for you. He introduces you to people who matter to him. His close friends may know about you. His family may hear your name. He may want you around the people who are important to him. Why? Because when a man is deeply invested, he often stops keeping the relationship in a separate little corner of his life. He starts integrating you into it. You become part of his real world. And there is another sign that is even more powerful. He starts making sacrifices, not unhealthy sacrifices, not losing himself, but small, meaningful adjustments. Maybe he changes his schedule to spend time with you. Maybe he drives farther. Maybe he helps you when it is inconvenient. Maybe he remembers something important to you and makes an effort to be there. Those actions tell you something. Love costs effort. If someone never has to sacrifice time, comfort, convenience, or energy for you, you have to ask yourself how deeply invested they really are. Because when someone matters, effort becomes natural. You do not have to beg someone who genuinely values you to show up every single time. They may have limitations. They may make mistakes, but they will try. And that word matters, Trey. A man who is falling deeply in love does not necessarily become perfect. He becomes intentional. He starts caring about doing better. He starts listening when you tell him something matters. He may not get it right the first time, but if he values you, he does not repeatedly ignore the same problem without caring. He learns, he adjusts, he grows. Because love that is real does not simply say, this is who I am, deal with it. Real love asks, how can I become better for this relationship without losing who I am? And sometimes his strongest sign of love is not how he treats you when everything is good. It is how he handles conflict. When a man is only interested in having fun, conflict can make him disappear. But when he is deeply invested, he wants resolution. He may need space. He may become quiet. He may not have the perfect words. But eventually, he wants to come back to the conversation, because losing the relationship becomes more painful than winning the argument. That is a powerful difference. A man who is falling deeply in love eventually learns that being right is not always more important than keeping the connection healthy. He starts understanding that two people can disagree without destroying each other. And when he begins choosing understanding over ego, pay attention. That is growth. That is investment. That is a man realizing that what he has with you is worth protecting. But perhaps the biggest change is this. He starts caring about your happiness even when he does not personally benefit from it. That is when attraction starts moving toward love, because attraction asks, what can I get from you? Love starts asking, what can I give to you? He wants to see you succeed. He encourages your goals. He supports your confidence. He wants you to become the woman you were created to be. He does not need you to shrink so that he can feel bigger. He does not become threatened by your growth. Instead, he becomes proud of it. And that is the kind of love that feels different, because you are no longer dealing with a man who simply wants access to you. You are dealing with a man who values you. And ladies, never confuse attention with love. A man can give you attention without giving you commitment. He can desire you without respecting you. He can miss you without being ready to build with you. He can chase you without knowing how to love you. That is why you have to look deeper. Watch the pattern. Watch the consistency. Watch the character. Watch how he behaves when nobody is watching. Because the truth about a man's feelings is rarely hidden in his sweetest words. It is hidden in his repeated behavior. And when a man is falling deeply in love, his behavior starts saying something his mouth may not be ready to admit yet. It starts saying, you matter to me. It starts saying, I don't want to lose you. It starts saying, I see you. And eventually, if that love continues to grow, those actions become impossible to ignore. There is another change you need to watch carefully. When a man is falling deeply in love, he starts becoming more intentional about your emotional world. He does not just want to know where you are. He wants to know how you are. There's a difference. A man who is simply interested may ask, what are you doing? A man who is emotionally invested may ask, are you okay? And when you say, I'm fine, he may look at you and realize that you are not. He starts noticing your silence. He notices when your smile does not reach your eyes. He notices when your energy feels different. He notices when something is bothering you. even when you are trying to hide it.
Why?
Because when a man is falling deeply in love, you become emotionally significant to him. Your feelings begin to matter. Your happiness matters. Your peace matters. And sometimes he will start doing things simply because he knows they make you happy. He may bring you something you mentioned weeks ago. He may call you at a time when he knows you need encouragement. He may remember an important day. He may send you a message just to remind you that he is thinking about you. These things may look small, but love is often revealed through small things. Everybody notices the big romantic gestures, but the woman who understands love watches the details, because flowers can be bought, a gift can be purchased, a beautiful date can be planned, but consistency cannot be faked forever. Eventually, a man's real priorities reveal themselves. And if you are becoming one of those priorities, you will feel the difference. He will start making room for you instead of only giving you whatever time is left over. That does not mean you become his entire life. Healthy love does not require either person to abandon their identity. It means you become an important part of his life. He still has his work, his goals, his friends, his responsibilities, but he starts finding a place for you among them. And that is what mature love looks like. You are not begging for a seat at the table. He is making space for you. Another powerful sign is that he starts caring about your opinion, not because he needs your permission to live his life, but because your perspective has become valuable to him. He may ask what you think about a decision. He may tell you about something happening at work. He may share an idea with you before he shares it with everyone else. That is important, because when a man respects you, he does not only want your affection, he values your mind. He wants to know what you think. He wants to understand how you see things. And sometimes he may even change his perspective because you gave him something he had not considered. That does not mean he becomes weak. It means he trusts your judgment. There is strength in being able to listen. And when a man is deeply falling for you, he may begin to realize that your presence is making him a better man. Maybe you inspire him to take his goals more seriously. Maybe your confidence challenges him to become more disciplined. Maybe your standards make him rethink what he has been accepting. Maybe your peace makes him realize how much chaos he has allowed into his life. The right woman does not have to chase a man into becoming better. Her presence can inspire him to want better for himself. But here's where you need to be careful. Do not confuse potential with reality. Do not fall in love with what a man could become. Watch what he is actually doing. Because words about the future are easy. Promises are easy. Fantasy is easy. Consistency is hard. Character is hard. Commitment is hard. So if you want to know whether a man is truly falling deeply in love, do not only listen to what he promises. Watch what he consistently practices. Watch how he treats you when he is frustrated. Watch how he communicates when life gets difficult. Watch whether he respects your boundaries. Watch whether he keeps his word. Watch whether he takes responsibility when he is wrong. That is where the truth lives. And here's something powerful for every woman listening. You should never have to become less valuable to make a man love you more. You should not have to chase. You should not have to compete. You should not have to constantly prove that you deserve his attention. You should not have to manipulate him with jealousy. You should not have to pretend you do not care just to make him chase you. Real love does not require emotional games. When a man genuinely values you, your dignity does not push him away. Your standards do not scare him away. Your self-respect does not make him lose interest. In fact, the right man respects it, because he understands that a woman who knows her worth is not looking for someone to complete her. She is looking for someone who can genuinely add value to the life she has already built. And that changes the entire dynamic. You stop asking, how do I make him love me? And you start asking, is the way he loves me healthy enough for me? That is a powerful question, because your goal should not simply be to be wanted. Your goal should be to be valued. There is a difference. Being wanted can be temporary. Being valued creates consistency. Being desired can happen in a moment. Being respected takes character. And when a man is deeply falling in love, he starts showing you respect in ways that go beyond romance. He respects your time. He respects your boundaries. He respects your emotions. He respects your dreams. He respects your individuality. He does not need to control you to feel secure. He does not need to isolate you to feel important. He does not need to make you jealous to feel powerful. Instead, he becomes secure enough to love you without trying to own you. That is the kind of love you should recognize. And sometimes, his deepest sign of love is that he starts becoming protective of the relationship itself. He stops entertaining unnecessary distractions. He becomes clearer about his intentions. He does not want other people constantly interfering with what you two are building. He starts understanding that trust is fragile. Once broken, it is difficult to rebuild. So he becomes more careful with it, not because you forced him, because he values what he has. That is when you know something has shifted. A man who is falling deeply in love starts realizing that losing a good woman is not something he can casually risk. And this is why you should never chase someone into recognizing your value. Let their actions reveal whether they already recognize it. Because the moment you start chasing someone for basic effort, you teach yourself to accept less than you deserve. Stand still, watch, pay attention. Give a man room to reveal who he really is, because you do not need to force clarity from someone who is naturally showing you the truth. If he values you, you will see it. If he respects you, you will feel it. If he is serious about you, his behavior will eventually make it obvious. And if you constantly have to decode everything he does, constantly wonder where you stand, constantly question whether he cares, that uncertainty is information too. Do not ignore it. The woman who knows her worth does not spend her life trying to convince a man to recognize it. She observes, she chooses, she protects her peace, and she understands that love is not something you beg for. Love is something two people build. So if a man is truly falling deeply in love with you, let him show you. Do not rush the process. Do not pressure him into saying words before he is ready. Do not try to control his feelings. Simply watch the way he moves. Because when the feelings are real, the behavior eventually tells the story. And that story is always louder than words. And now let me tell you the part that many people miss. When a man is falling deeply in love, he does not just want to be around you when everything is easy. He starts wanting to be there when life gets hard. That is when you see the difference between attraction and attachment, between excitement and genuine emotional investment. Anybody can show up when you look beautiful, when the conversation is fun, when the date is exciting, and when everything is going their way. But when you are stressed, disappointed, exhausted, or going through something difficult, the man who truly cares begins to reveal another side of himself. He asks, "What can I do?" He may not be able to fix everything. He may not even know exactly what to say. But he does not run simply because your life is not perfect. He stays present. And that presence speaks loudly, because love is not proven by how someone treats you during the easiest moments. Love is revealed by what they are willing to do when things become uncomfortable. A man who is deeply falling for you starts understanding that your relationship is bigger than romance. It is partnership. It is friendship. It is trust. It is two people deciding that what they have is worth protecting. And that decision changes the way he moves. He becomes more patient. He becomes more thoughtful. He becomes more aware of the consequences of his choices. He starts thinking before he acts because he understands that his actions can either strengthen the relationship or damage it. And when he realizes he has hurt you, something important happens. His pride begins to lose its importance. He may still struggle with apologizing. He may still need time to process his emotions. But eventually he wants to make things right, not because he is afraid you will leave, but because he does not like knowing that he caused pain to someone he loves. That is a major difference. Fear can make someone temporarily change. Love creates a desire to grow. And ladies, never underestimate that. A man who genuinely loves you will not only want to keep you, he will want to become someone worthy of keeping you. That does not mean you should demand perfection from him. Nobody is perfect. You are not perfect. He is not perfect, but there should be progress. There should be effort. There should be accountability. There should be a willingness to learn each other. And when those things are present, you are looking at something that has the potential to become much deeper than attraction. You are looking at a relationship being built. There is another subtle sign. He starts letting you see the real him, not the version he shows everyone else, not the confident version, not the successful version, not the version that always has everything under control. You start seeing his uncertainty. You see when he is tired. You see when he is stressed. You see when something scares him. You see the moments when he does not have an answer. And instead of disappearing whenever he feels vulnerable, he allows you to stay close. That is intimacy. True. Intimacy is not simply physical closeness. It is emotional access. It is being trusted with the parts of someone that the world rarely gets to see. And when a man gives you that access, do not take it lightly. It means he feels safe. It means your presence has become important. It means he trusts that you will not use his vulnerability against him. That kind of trust takes time. And if he is giving it to you, protect it. Do not weaponize his insecurities during arguments. Do not throw his private stories back in his face. Do not use what he told you in confidence as ammunition. Because when someone opens their heart, they are giving you something fragile, hot lit with care. And the same goes for you. You deserve a man who creates an environment where you can be vulnerable too. You should not always have to be strong. You should not always have to pretend nothing hurts. You should not always have to act like you do not care. The right relationship gives both people room to be human. That is what deep love does. It creates safety. It creates understanding. It creates a place where two people can grow without constantly fearing judgment. So if you are wondering whether a man is falling deeply in love, stop looking for one magical sign. Look for the patterns he makes time. Does he keep his word? Does he listen? Does he respect you? Does he support your goals? Does he communicate? Does he make an effort when things become difficult? Does he want to understand you? Does he include you in his life? Does he become more consistent instead of more confusing? Does he take responsibility when he makes mistakes? Those answers will tell you far more than 1,000 romantic words, because love is not just something a person says. It is something a person repeatedly demonstrates. And here is the most important lesson I want you to remember. Never become so desperate to be loved that you ignore the way you are being treated. Do not accept disrespect because you are afraid of being alone. Do not accept inconsistency because you are hoping he will eventually change. Do not accept breadcrumbs because you remember how good the relationship felt in the beginning. Your heart deserves more than potential. Your heart deserves reality. If he loves you, let his actions prove it. If he values you, let his consistency show it. If he respects you, let his behavior demonstrate it. And if he is not giving you those things, do not destroy yourself trying to force them out of him. You cannot convince someone to become emotionally ready. You cannot chase someone into commitment. You cannot beg someone into valuing you, and you should never have to. The right relationship does not require you to abandon your dignity. You can love someone deeply and still have boundaries. You can care about someone and still walk away from disrespect. You can miss someone and still choose yourself. You can want love and still refuse to settle for less than healthy love. That is strength. And when you finally understand your own value, your entire approach to relationships changes. You stop asking, how can I make him stay? You start asking, is he showing me that he deserves a place in my life? You stop chasing explanations. You start watching actions. You stop trying to control outcomes. You start trusting what people consistently show you. And that is where your peace begins. Because the goal is not to make every man fall in love with you. The goal is to recognize the man whose love is healthy, consistent, respectful, and real. A man who is deeply falling in love will not always be perfect. He will have bad days. He will make mistakes. He will sometimes struggle to communicate. But you will see the difference between imperfection and indifference. Imperfection says, I made a mistake and I want to do better. Indifference says, I do not care how this affects you. Never confuse the two. Love does not require perfection. It requires intention. It requires effort. It requires respect. And most importantly, it requires two people who are willing to show up. So if you see a man becoming more consistent, more vulnerable, more intentional, more protective of the relationship, more interested in your dreams, and more committed to your peace, pay attention. Something may be happening inside him that he has not yet found the words to explain. He may be falling deeply. And when that happens, you do not need to chase him. You do not need to manipulate him. You do not need to perform for his attention. Stand confidently in who you are. Let him meet you there. Let him show you what he feels. Let his actions speak. Because the woman who knows her worth does not beg for love. She recognizes it. She receives it. And if it is not healthy, she has the courage to walk away from it. Remember this. The deepest love is not always the loudest. Sometimes it is the man who keeps showing up, the man who listens, the man who remembers, the man who protects your trust, the man who respects your boundaries, the man who supports your dreams, the man who wants to grow, the man who makes room for you, the man whose actions quietly say what his words may not yet be ready to say. I value you. I respect you. I see you. I do not want to lose what we are building. That is the kind of love worth recognizing. And if a man is truly falling deeply in love with you, you will not have to spend forever wondering. Eventually, his behavior will answer the question for you. So do not chase the answer. Watch the actions. Protect your peace. Now your worth. And let love reveal itself naturally. Because when a man truly values a woman, he does not just want her attention. He wants to become the kind of man who deserves her heart. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you in the next powerful video. Until then, stay strong and know your worth.